So here I am back in the kitchen and raring to go on a recipe that's perfect to feed an army or a family of hungry people. It's a fish soup or stew, more of that later. And it's actually very simple to prepare. First, I saute some of my favourite vegetables in a mixture of a little unsalted butter and a tablespoon of fruity virgin olive oil. Now my favourite vegetables, of course, are some chopped onion, carrot, leek, and I brown them lightly. Then I add a couple of diced tomatoes. They're all stirred up for a couple of minutes over medium heat. Then the heat's turned down and I stir through a tablespoon of tomato paste. On top of this mixture, I put the fish. The whole fish I just cut into 3 or 4 large pieces. The fish bones go in, and the head or heads, I pack them in and then cover with a mixture of fish stock, water, and an optional glass of a fruity white wine, a couple of bay leaves and a generous sprig or 2 or 3 of parsley. This mixture is now left to simmer for around 30 minutes. If it overcooks, the fish bones may make the liquid that results too bitter. Skim off any scum that floats to the surface. Now the clams are rinsed through to remove any grit. At about 5 minutes before the end of simmering time, I add the clams to the mixture. Once cooked, I carefully remove all the seafood, trying not to break it up too much, and allow it to drain and to cool. Now the liquid, which has become a very fine stock, is strained and it's reduced to about 2/3 of its original volume over medium heat. Now while that's bubbling away happily and the fish is cool enough to be handled, I take the flesh from the bones and the meat from the clams. Time to thicken that stock into a sauce using some cornflour dissolved in water, spooning a little of the stock into the cornflour mixture, and then pouring it back into the stock pot. At this time, I add some cooked potato pieces with the skin on. Now, according to Australian folklore, the way you tell the difference between a soup and a stew is the size of the potatoes you use. If they're big pieces, it's a stew, and if they're small pieces, then it's a soup. As for this, well, it could either be a soupy stew or a stewy soup. Call it what you like, really. And some cooked peas and carrots may be added. Some seasoning to taste. I must make sure that the sauce doesn't boil. I don't want the fish overcooking. And there it is. Degree of difficulty, low but a bit fiddly. Preparation time, 50 minutes, including cooking. And it's best eaten on the same day it's been cooked. Time to serve, and onto a large soup plate, or is it a stew plate, go ladles of that delicious mixture, surrounded by a garnish of clams and a gentle topping of parsley. And there it is. Was it fiddly? Yes, it was. Is it worth it? Yes, it is, especially when accompanied by a glass of the Riesling I used in the cooking. From Consuming Passions, bon appetit.